Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 530. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up?
All right, this is the crew tonight because Adam and Rich are watching Actually, Rich is watching WrestleMania, and Adam is watching The Last of Us. And by the way, it happened, people. I'm not going to say just in case somebody hadn't played the game, but it happened tonight. And as I predicted, normies are reacting just as crazy as gamers did when that scene happened. It's hilarious. It's like, because...
Insert what happened in the last in Walking Dead to a certain character, and it's exactly the same.
Yep, pretty much. So interesting stuff. Anyway, we're gonna get started. We didn't actually get a lot of questions tonight, so this might be a short one. But if you're in the chat right now and you want to ask us some more video game questions, feel free to, and we'll keep this party going. You know. All right. First up, Jay Shep starts us off with a couple questions. New rumors of Oblivion remastered claim there will be two price points. The base game starting at $40 and another edition at $70. What do you think of these rumor prices for a remastered game? I wish because I think I've said this before, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think I can speak for some of us here on the chat. We don't really look at gaming news during the weekend. So if this happened, I have no context for this, so...
Yeah, I've been too busy watching old WrestleMania 3, but as far as what do we think about the rumored price? What I think about the rumored price?
Yeah, basically one version's 40, another one's 70. My question is the $40 one digital and the 70 one's physical? Maybe, I don't know.
If maybe that or some sort of special edition version of it, where
I don't know.
They put more stuff in it. I don't know. What could they be charging additionally for that?
I have no idea. And again, this game is still rumored, so who knows?
We don't know.
Like I said, literally after 5 o'clock on a Friday, I don't go on Twitter again until Monday. I don't, actually until the podcast here. So I have no idea. I didn't hear anything. What about the rest of you guys?
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. But Chris, what do you think about the rumor then?
It's hard to say. It depends, because there's different editions of every single game now. So if they're offering something different, I don't know. It's they could kick in a digital art book and a soundtrack and try to justify the price. I'm not saying it's justified, but they, that always happens. So I honestly don't know what to make of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly don't know. It's just, again, rumored prices for rumored game. It's hard to say. But I guess the context of the question is what do you feel about them charging this for a remaster? It is what it is, man.
I mean, hell,
legit.
Last of Us Complete, right?
Yeah, that's right. $100.
Old ass games, right? And remastered twice.
But it's interesting because this one is not so much a remaster. It's a weird one because it at least on the screenshots, it looks like what they're doing is a lot more significant. At least the leaked screenshots, it looks like it's a lot more significant than just the just making the old shitty textures look better. It looks like something on the level of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, it could be that.
But even Shadow of the Colossus wasn't a full price game, was it?
I don't know. It was not.
It got released.
No.
So, who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, maybe again, who knows if this is true or not? But yeah, maybe the $70 one is a special edition.
I would feel like it might be a special edition. That's the only justification I can see for doing something like that.
And then I guess the other question would be, how do you feel about them doing special editions of remasters?
They've been done before.
Yeah. All right. So there you go.
At least Shadow of the Colossus had a kind of a special edition, but granted, it did. It had one that came with the Tricos. No, it didn't. it came with a pretty significant version of it, but I can't remember if there were two versions or if that was just the only one they put out. It's been a while.
I have no idea.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Brian, you got any thoughts?
I think it's just going to be like special edition with something. So I think that will be the difference because it
Will
makes
it
no
have
sense
horse
not to
armor?
have.
That's the question.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, it makes no sense that there'll be such different pricing for two different versions. Like if it was like 50 and 60, then you could say, okay, there's something else there. But if it's like 40 and 70, it's like, yeah, there's definitely some sort of special edition, maybe. Again, unless it's confirmed and we see the pricing, I honestly have no idea and I don't care. I'm sure
enough.
that Brett does.
Yeah, he cares. Yeah. What about you, Carlos? Got any thoughts?
No, I just, I like you mentioned, it's a rumor of a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know, I don't even know how deep to take this thing. $40 seems like a reasonable price for, like Manny mentioned, it seems like more than just a texture upgrade pack, kind of thing. So if they put a lot of effort or a lot more effort than what The Last of Us do to their remasters, I feel like $40 is justified. The special edition portion of it, whatever. If all you want to do is play the game and that's $40, I feel like that's justified.
Yeah. By the way, just for clarity, Manny, there was indeed a Shadow of the Colossus special edition. It came with a steelbook case, a printed manual, a bunch of like digital extras, shit like that.
Okay, so pretty much the thing we did the unboxing of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A world map.
So yes.
Yeah.
So
stickers.
yes, if you want to see that, it's actually on our channel.
There you go. You could buy it on Amazon.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, you could buy it on Amazon right now for $219.
Damn.
You know, because it's rare now, I guess.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, so yeah, again, rumor of a rumor, so who knows? But to quote Richard, we'll see what happens.
We'll see about that.
We will see about that.
Wait, we don't have that one?
No, not yet.
We need it. We need it. We'll see about that on the soundboard.
Richard by himself deserves his own soundboard. Lucas Matthias, I guess. Hey guys, doing good. I'm very happy about Oblivion Remastered. That's dope, man. What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to in the game the most? Just revisiting the world, the graphics. Like, what are you looking forward to? Definitely let us know. And if you have any questions, drop them here because gotta keep this show going. We only got like a few more questions here. Right, another one from Jay Shep. Question for Miss Cleo.
Call me now.
Hey, now, do you think a Call of Duty game will debut on Switch 2 this year?
Ooh.
All right, Miss Cleo. This is for
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal question.
It actually is a good question. I would say this year, right? You said this year?
Yeah, this year, yeah.
You said a new Call of Duty game?
We got Brett in the house.
What's up,
What up, Brett?
How's everybody doing?
Doing all right, man.
You heard Oblivion.
He heard Oblivion, then he showed up. You know
My
what,
people need
Carlos? Yeah, Carlos, before you answer, let's go back real quick because Brett is our resident Oblivion master here. Brett, so a rumor is claiming that Oblivion is going to have two different prices, $40 and $70. What do you make of that?
For what exactly?
I have no fucking idea. That's all we were told
it's
with the
just a
question.
rumor right now.
Yeah. So again, my best guess is, and it's just me speculating because I don't know enough about. I literally just heard about this with the question. I'm guessing maybe $40 for the digital edition and $70 for physical. I don't know.
Or
I mean,
maybe
that would be
the
actually kinda
70s
nice.
for a special edition version of it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I wonder if they just did like a remaster for 40 or an upgraded version for 70. That I don't know, man. I've never heard of anybody doing that big of a price difference between the
Yeah,
same game. So
The,
unless they're
the
just being like, hey, here's a shine up and re-release of Oblivion, and then here's the new enhanced version, I guess they could do that. It just feels like, why bother with the $40 version?
we think it might. So a good example we sort of gave was like maybe that it's a situation like the Shadow of the Colossus, you know, version. You know, the one they did with all the new shiny graphics and everything. So there was two versions of it. There was like you know, the regular edition, and then there was like a steelbook version that came with a map and all that you know, all kinds of goodies inside of the box. And that one was actually obviously a little bit more expensive than whatever they released.
Okay, I mean $70 for a collector's edition or a steelbook edition is actually not bad. So yeah, I'm fine with it. And Oblivion, honestly, better than half the games that are put out today. I don't love the re-release of everything that Bethesda does, but I mean, they've written off the re-releases for 12 years. They're not the same game studio anymore. They may as well just be a new game studio that I've heard about, that are fans of games that I've played. So, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I'm happy I'm getting a game back that I know is actually good because I don't know they'll ever be able to replicate those again. Oblivion was kind of a really sweet spot too between Morrowind and Skyrim. I felt Skyrim was kind of dumbed down, so I hope they don't like modernize it too much. Like by the time you get to fucking sorry guys, I'm on a lot of meds.
it's all good.
By the time you get to Starfield, like your armor is one armor slot. You like wear an armor and then a helmet, right? Like back in the Morrowind days, you had like a glove and a pauldron and a shirt and a chest and boots and a cape and a helmet and a fucking watch and two rings and like a goddamn lucky charm that you kept with you or some shit. Like it was ridiculous the amount of slots and shit that you had and the amount of ways that you could customize your character. And then you get to Starfield, it's just like, hey, do you want to choose a different helmet that goes with the spacesuit, or do you just want to choose the regular helmet that goes with this spacesuit? It's not much of a big like customizing. Like I'm not really role playing. I'm not really playing the character I want. I'm just kind of like give a choice of like, oh, here's a different suit you can wear, I guess, or you have a shotgun or this other kind of weapon. And I guess, but just because you give players some semblance of choice doesn't really mean something's an RPG. So I feel better about Oblivion than I do about Elder Scrolls 6. I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't like saying that.
Yeah, because you know it's probably going to be more dumbed down.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem is I want to be excited for Elder Scrolls 6 and I want to be like, why are they just re-releasing an old game? But honestly, like this may be one of the more satisfactory things that Bethesda puts out in a minute. So I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully we get confirmation this thing's actually real this week. Shout out to Manny's podcast, by the way. Real quick, Matthias says, Lucas says, I hope to get the same. We asked him, what do you want from Oblivion? He goes, I hope to get the same feeling of when Skyrim came out in 2011. I was only 15 at the time and I was learning English, so I could say Skyrim helped me a lot on reading and learning new stuff about RPGs. I've been playing the same game since 2021, level 78 right now. No fast travel survival mode. There you go, man. But
Hey, dude, hey, man, respect, doing it real. Like
Going for broke.
that is doing a role playing experience. I'm like, good for you, man. Like, I think if you haven't got a chance to play Oblivion, you'll really like it. If you ever get the chance to play Morrowind, like you just want to like give yourself a challenge. Like there are no quest markers. There is a journal, but there are no quest markers, and sometimes half the trouble is just like finding the person you're trying to find. But that game is also it's really 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 well made. Like it is the new Vegas of the Elder Scrolls series. At least that'd be my opinion.
nice.
I'm sure there are people that disagree with me, but Oblivion's close. Oblivion's really good.
Yeah, but well, again, we'll see if we get confirmation. All right, so yeah, Carlos, and I'm guessing this question is also potentially may end up in the accountability room. So watch yourself. Do you think we will see this year's Call of Duty on Switch?
Oh, that changes things. Okay, so this year's Call of Duty, like the new Call of Duty that's going to release this year,
Yeah.
it's definitely not going to be on the Switch 2.
Uh-oh.
At least I don't think so. You know, it obviously with the new attempt to make the Switch 2 more third party viable, there is going to be a Call of Duty coming out. Whether that's a Warzone or some of the older games, I feel like that's a really strong possibility. So if you were to ask me just any Call of Duty game that hasn't been on a Nintendo platform or anything like that, yeah, I would definitely say yes. If you're saying the Call of Duty that releases this year, I'd probably lean no to that.
Yeah. But to be fair, the exact wording of the question was, because again, that was kind of, that last part I got to admit is a little bit of my question. But yeah, the exact wording is, will we see a Call of Duty debut on Switch this year?
Yeah, the only way I would see it, the new Call of Duty releasing on the Switch 2, is if it's streaming.
Yeah.
I don't foresee. I don't know. I don't foresee Game Pass being on the Switch 2 anytime soon, especially because it's Nintendo we're talking about. I'm pretty sure Microsoft would be over the hills to have Game Pass on the Switch 2, but I feel like Nintendo wouldn't want that. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough sell. So I would say no for the new, probably yes for the old stuff, for the legacy stuff.
Yeah. Does any chat on YouTube not loading for me? All right, cool. Well, I don't know how to fix that. It's working fine for Lucas. Fix your shit. How about that? I don't know if anybody else has any predictions. I don't. I don't care enough, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, because I feel like, I mean, I don't know how long studios have had their had the dev kits for the Switch 2. So like if it is possible to get it on there, but I mean, they're saying that this thing is about as strong as a PS2, a PS4 Pro or something like that.
PS4, PS4 Pro, something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. So like, I mean, it could get on there, but I mean, it just depends on how much development they would need to do to squeeze it in there. I mean, it's probably going to look worse than the Xbox Series X, if anything. Would EA be willing to do something like that?
For money, probably. For money.
Activision.
Yeah, Activision.
Money,
Manny.
but I mean, like,
Yeah.
here's the thing, like,
Manny, Activision, by the way, real quick, not EA. EA doesn't make Call of Duty.
Excuse me. Will Activision go through the trouble of doing that? But granted, they did make a deal with, Microsoft on that. So maybe.
That is true. Yeah, they did do that deal during the transaction period between Activision and Xbox and Microsoft.
Yeah, so
it's possible.
Phil did promise them the Call of Duty to be on there,
Call
or
of
their
Duty.
games to be on there. So, I mean, will it be this year? I don't know, but definitely maybe next year. But again, it depends on how long they've had those dev kits, and what if they can squeeze that game in there, it's probably going to look like. If anything, is gonna probably look about as good as that Mortal Kombat game that looked on the Switch.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
look as good as the chat.
Oh man, yeah, it's like 2 frames a second. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right, moving on here. Black Mage, regarding the video game industry crashing. Do you think instead of completely crashing, that there could be a sharp decline in console gaming followed by a mass exodus to PC gaming? No, because we've explained this many times. even though PC gaming is a lot easier than it used to be, it's not as convenient as just having a box under your TV for most people. They're not going to just suddenly go to PC and start dealing with some of those headaches, you know?
That's why the rumors of the of these of a new Steam box is relatively interesting.
Yeah.
Because they could definitely, if Steam is able to pull that one off, you can definitely you already got people used to picking up games digitally on a console store. So what if that was the new Steam box? What if it was that, where like you just go to their store and then it just runs on their little Steam box under your set? So that would definitely get people to come over to, playing games on a PC like thing, like
Yeah.
a console PC thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think regular people are just gonna go and jump onto those things.
Yeah,
Just all of a sudden abandon consoles. Here's the thing, and this is just this was said at I still have I know a lot of people that went to GDC, and the big companies they're right now they're pulling the belt tight. Places like PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like that, and all the other big companies are all pulling their belts tight when it comes to these games. No, none of these big big investments. Smaller titles. That's at least what's being talked about across the board.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? What do you think?
I feel like I made this prediction months ago, so I'll stick with it. I feel like Apple TVs and Roku's and Fire Sticks, that's the future of console gaming. Whereas the processing is not going to be as reliant on the physical hardware as it is in a data center somewhere that's going to render the games for you, and you're just going to be streaming. Obviously, that's not going to happen this year. I mean, we're in a transition period. I've seen commercials of the Fire Stick Pro, and the whole purpose of the commercial. This is an Xbox. Like literally,
Yeah.
Fire Stick commercial is just saying that this is an Xbox. And I feel like that's not going to stop with Xbox. I feel like PlayStation is going to, follow suit there. And eventually, maybe, like I mentioned, 10 to 15 years in the future, consoles are just going to be, applications instead of consoles, and they're just going to be on everything.
Yeah, I think in the super future, or maybe who knows, like could be within the next 10, 15 years. That I agree with that. I think that's going to happen, But
It just doesn't
yeah.
seem logistically. I feel like things are going to get smaller. Like the PS5, for example. That thing is freaking huge.
Huge.
It's I would dare say huge, and it as technology advances, a lot of things get bigger, but also a lot of things get really smaller. And when it comes to things like streaming and stuff, it's getting more and more viable. Heck, I was streaming on a flight recently. I was surprised by how well it worked. I thought it was just not gonna work.
You were
I was
like,
actually
"Excuse me?"
streaming videos. Yeah, I was like, "Excuse me, what's going on here?" I wanted to stream.
Well, he was like, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was pretty much done.
I was gonna say, like, even streaming inside the house, like because of the setup that I got, like, so I want to take a minute to talk about these XR glasses I got, y'all. Like, they were $219 when I got them. I'm sure they'll drop back down on sale. Worth every goddamn penny. I'm able to like lay down and like play my game. But here's the coolest thing: I can turn on my laptop and use its power to kind of stream through my home network into my Steam Deck. And then the Steam Deck has a USB port that runs, boom, into the glasses. So I could literally just walk around with a virtual 201-inch display floating around in my head, like sitting in the living room, anywhere I go. It is an awesome combo. So I absolutely recommend that. But as far as the Steam thing goes, like I do want to say, like, sorry if I'm all over the place again, man. Like highly medicated, y'all. out of pocket Brett. But I do agree also that I think it wouldn't be that hard to get a mass exodus to PC. I think when the video game system or when the video game ecosystem kind of collapses, I do think a lot of people go to PC because PC is known for having reasonable prices and a community that kind of fights to try and keep their stuff intact. So it's generally known as more fair and having better prices. Now, one
You think
big one
normies will do
from-
that? Like mom and pop, Billy, like you think they'll do that?
I do, because I think Mom and Pop and Billy know that Steam is cheap. Steam has Steam sales. I think that has permeated in. And when you have, like, what does Steam do? Oh, they have a lot of sales on video games.
Yeah, but what
Okay,
about
well,
the
what is-
thing you
what is-
play Steam on? Like, okay, do you consider? I think I already know the answer. You consider handhelds PC gaming, right?
I do.
Okay,
But
because I'm like, because the first thing I'm thinking, I'm like, hey, these games suck on console. Let me spend minimum $1,000 on a PC, and even I wouldn't recommend a PC to somebody for $1,000. But a handheld, yeah, I would recommend that. So maybe that'll be an easier entry point for regular people, But like I've always said, Windows 11 on handhelds is not fun. It sucks. So maybe,
it's not.
so maybe Steam
Steam's-
Deck. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the Steam OS it works really well, and so like you've got now the simplicity of the console experience bundled into a PC. So the only problem now is pricing, and like at this point, I find myself like I'm being driven out of the video game ecosystem into the PC ecosystem just because. Like fuck, man! If video games are gonna get this expensive, like I'm just gonna hang out on Steam and wait for that shit, right? And the thing, like, if Steam did do a Steam box, I virtually guarantee you Microsoft would put Xbox Live on that shit.
Yeah.
I'd put Game Pass on that
Yeah,
shit.
no, if they make a Steam box, that absolutely changes the calculus of everything. Then people would like, oh fuck, I'm gonna buy this instead.
Yeah, I think
Why not?
I think with the easy with how with the front end of that Steam OS, I think that would be a lot more conducive to players than to people that are not too into the whole PC scene. If you can put out a console that's comparable to an Xbox or PlayStation, or maybe a little bit better than that, and then you have that OS because everybody's already used to buying their games, through these digital stores like the Xbox or the PlayStation store. I think, or even a Nintendo store, I think it'll work out. It's just about presenting it in a way that's easy for people to just get in and play.
Yeah. That's the key right there. Gotta make it simple for them. If they have to start going through a bunch of shit, it's gonna be a problem. But Steam could resolve that for sure. And remember, now Steam is gonna, the OS is gonna start being on more devices, which is a good thing. So that could help for sure.
Yep.
I think at this point it's just a price point, and that's why I think it's so important for Microsoft and Sony to stay within like a roughly $500 price point, because as soon as you start going above that, you start getting into like decent, at that point, like, oh man, a couple other bucks more, I got myself a laptop, right? Like, what are we even doing here when we start talking about $700 PlayStations, $800 Xboxes, that kind of shit? If a fucking Nintendo is gonna cost $450, what's the point?
Yeah. Guess we'll have to see. All right. Anybody else? Brian, what are your thoughts, bro? As our resident PC gamer, old school PC gamer.
I'm in accordance with most people. I don't think that there'll be. Well, I think that there'll be some sort of crash or slowdown, but I don't think that people will move over to PCs simply because they'll just be annoyed with the general state of gaming that they just won't even bother. So they kind of just say, you know what, I'm done with gaming, and then just stop. So
Really?
I think that's more likely. Yes, I do. Me, somehow. Again,
I
it
agree.
does make
They may
sense.
just stop. They may just stop. Yeah.
It does make sense to say that, oh yeah, I'm annoyed with gaming on a console, so I'm going to start gaming on a PC. It makes more sense that they just be annoyed with gaming and then just stop gaming.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right about that. Like, fucking, I'm done. You know, we'll have to see about that. You know, all right. Moving on here. Mob Hits got a couple questions. What I guess kind of related to the last question. What is one thing you're expecting to happen this year in the gaming industry? Speculation City. I expect. I mean, it already kind of happened with Ubisoft, right? Tencent bought a good chunk of it. So that already happened. You know, like, because the prediction was like someone's going to buy Ubisoft. Tencent doesn't own it completely,
It
but
practically does.
yeah. So that already happened. So that was my prediction, but it already happened. Do we think GTA 6 will come out this year? You know? Fuck it, I'll go around the room. Chris, you have any predictions for what's going to happen this year in the games industry?
Well, I'll say that if Nintendo's tipping the dominoes to really crash the current industry, then GTA will kick the bigger domino down, because if they come out this year, and greed is gonna kill the industry, right? It's already killing it. If GTA comes out this year and they price it at $100 or more, I think that'll be a huge tipping point, because there's a huge spotlight on Rockstar. There's a huge spotlight when the price of the Switch and all the games came out. They said, "Oh, fucking Rockstar, you just open the door. They're gonna make the game $100." If they do that and it opens the door for other people, industry will implode even faster. So that's my prediction. If GTA comes out this year, I guarantee that motherfucker in charge of Take-Two, he's so greedy. I don't see how he doesn't do that. And then goes, well, we're the biggest piece of entertainment in this history. And
I
then,
100% agree with Chris. If I could 200% agree, I would.
Now
Like,
you're doing it
that's my
now.
biggest problem. Is Nintendo? We all knew Rockstar was like coming up on this possible $100 GTA, and then Nintendo had to tiptoe the $80 and the $90. You know, like we're at 70. You can't just jump from 70 to 100. Nintendo's like, well, we'll do 80, sometimes 90. And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, it may happen. Carlos, you got any predictions for this year?
I'm still torn on GTA 6. just because I'm going on well, it's not yet finalized, so if I don't end up going on a trip at the end of the year, then it's not going to come out. But if I do, it is. It all lies within that criteria. Other than that, I feel like I'm just interested to see how the whole Nintendo thing shakes up throughout the rest of the year, because it's probably going to be the biggest thing in gaming, other than GTA 6. I can't see anything else sort of taking over the conversation. So I would just say we're gonna know. There's a lot of discussions going on on Throwdown in the last couple of episodes about sort of the future of Nintendo and what, whether the Switch 2 will be successful or not. I feel like we'll know that by the end of the year.
Yeah. Manny, have any predictions?
My prediction, based on some of the GDC things from the show, is that we're going to see a lot more smaller titles, maybe coming in the next 2 years. things that don't cost an insane amount of money to develop. I think because I think in general the industry saw that they saw in full force that, blowing up, sort of almost a return to form, at least for a lot of things in the game industry, where they're essentially looking at smaller experiences mixed with bigger, longer experiences. I think the big superstar, at least for Sony, will be, obviously, Homegirl game. I can't remember what the hell that name of that game is. And then, you have a couple of smaller ones, have a smaller titles in there. So I think, again, the development is just going to have their belts tight, and we're going to see a little bit more.
Yeah. Brett, any predictions for what may happen this year?
Man, I'm really trying to think about it, and I'm like, bro, I have trouble just figuring out what day it is. So, like,
Fair enough.
That's
not,
fine.
Yeah, we could.
yeah,
you
not,
don't have
not,
to. Yeah.
not particularly. I'm a little bit reactionary right now.
All right, fair enough. All right, Brian, what about you?
Let's see. Wild guess. There'll be a Call of Duty coming out this year. We've not seen one of those in a long time, so I think it's overdue. But seriously, I also have no idea. I think the big one is GTA going to release this year, and every day I just kind of lean more towards Carlos and think it's probably not, just because we've only had the one trailer from them and that's it. It was what, like a year and a half ago, and there's just been nothing since. And I know
Have
it's
we gotten the
Rockstar.
poster?
Hmm?
They always unveiled like the poster of the cover of the
I haven't
Grand Theft
seen
Auto
it.
game before.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so that usually comes out pretty early.
Yeah, remember and I don't know if this is related to it, but Rockstar, Take-Two, whoever, they did officially say they're kind of waiting until the last minute to unveil this thing. They said they want to build up the hype, which is weird. I'm like, you usually build up hype by releasing stuff. They're trying to build up hype by not releasing stuff.
Yeah.
That's very odd.
But that's what they said. That's not a rumor. They actually said that.
Oh no, I know you're right,
Yeah.
but it's counterintuitive to
Very.
how you would build hype. You would show more.
Yeah.
Right? You would keep putting out news and keep putting out features and look at this gameplay, look at the story, look at all this stuff. And you keep changing up. You'd have A/B testing for all this stuff, but your A/B testing would be public with 2 different sets of ads and all this stuff. But not saying anything, that's a weird way to build hype.
Very weird. I've never heard of it.
Here's a question.
What's
that
up?
just came to my mind.
Uh-oh.
Do you think we'll see some GTA 6 at Summer Games Fest?
Probably not.
That is a phenomenal question.
No, probably not. They usually do their own thing. They don't really wait for like trade shows or whatever. But
they've never
maybe
really done
around
trade
it.
shows.
Yeah, they may be around it, but I doubt they're gonna like partner with Jeff Keighley for anything. They're like, fuck that. We're gonna do our own thing.
Brian, you know what my response
You
to
know
this
what
is.
it is.
You know who it is.
You already know. It's the manga god.
If Jeff Keighley manages to get a GTA 6 trailer or
That's not gonna
whatever
happen.
on his Summer Games Fest, this dude is gonna cry tears he's never cried before. during that presentation.
He's just gonna be like, "Ooh."
The tears might actually be genuine.
They'll definitely be genuine for this, because this is a huge get. This is the biggest get anyone can get in the video game industry probably ever. So yeah, it would be hard to see it, but maybe around the same time frame, because the old E3 time frame is sort of when everyone coincides. We know Microsoft is doing stuff also, so it's plausible that it comes out during that time, but not during the Summer Games Fest.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. All right, another one from Mr. Mob Hits. With fighting games having more crossovers than ever, do you see a triple crossover with Marvel, Capcom, and SNK? Absolutely not. That's the licensing would be crazy for that.
Nope. Yeah, the Marvel license alone would kill like a huge amount of that budget. So I think the chances of the Japanese studios,
Oh yeah,
their games doing a crossover, but them doing a Marvel one, that Marvel would want their shit on their own.
you'll either get you're either going to get a Marvel versus Capcom or a Capcom versus SNK, but not all three. Not happening.
Yeah.
That is like this is why shit like Jump Force is so rare. The licensing is way too crazy. Manny, you're muted.
Oh man, you're
Jump Force is actually not crazy
Why is
Shonen
that?
Jump.
because it's connected to Shonen Jump, the publisher.
Oh, okay, that's true. Tatsunoko is probably a better example.
Tatsunoko is also not a bad one because it's essentially connected to, it's essentially like doing a Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Just doing it with a Japanese company,
Yeah.
right? So it would a leap of craziness would be Tatsunoko versus Capcom versus Marvel.
And
That would be
we've never seen a triple one like that before.
no, we never. Seen
Yeah,
that.
so
There's
that's
only two.
why. So that's why the question is a little weird. Like we've never seen a triple one before.
Yeah, we've never seen a triple one. But, here's the thing. They could also do one because this is also not that foreign for a Japanese company to do because what was that? There was this RPG a while ago that had like Capcom. It had like, I think it had Capcom characters and it had like, like it had all these different characters from different things. It had like
Was
Morgan
it Cross
and it had
Edge?
yeah, Cross Edge had a
Cross Edge,
bunch of
yeah.
different characters from different like other companies in one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of mobile games like that. They just have franchises like crazy.
This wasn't like a mobile game, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that same. It was a full on RPG, but yeah,
Yeah, but between those three companies, no way, no way in hell.
no. I mean, I would
yeah.
I would love to see them do like a HD remaster of Tatsunoko versus Capcom with the way they make their games now because Tatsunoko versus Capcom,
It's locked to
is-
Switch.
it's locked to no, it's not locked to Switch, it's Wii.
Oh, Wii. Okay. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. The Wii. Yeah, it's locked to the
Yeah,
Wii.
it's a Wii game.
It's like, bro.
It's a Wii game, and it suffers from a lot of because it was for the Wii. It has a bunch of dopey, controls.
If it was on Switch, it'd be good because all these people could play it, But you're right; it's locked to the Wii and with the control. So it would be good if they just redo it somehow and bring it to other consoles. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. Those three. But I guarantee you, there is a Capcom versus SNK being worked on. Like you're already seeing those characters crossing into each other's games. The collection's dropping soon. Check out the last episode to hear my thoughts on that. So that's gonna happen.
They're definitely gauging a little bit of interest in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. So this is a sponsored question, Mr. Romudeth, sponsoring an extra one from from Mob Hits. We've answered this one before, but it's always fun to revisit this one. Which gaming IP is overrated or overhyped? Brian, I'm going to answer for you if you don't mind. The Last of Us. Am I correct in that?
I'm glad that people are actually trying. Are finally seeing that. It's just been ridiculous. It's like it's just been nothing but The Last of Us things. It's like there's just 2 games. How are there so many things based on 2 games?
It's insane. It's insane. But that's also my answer too. I'm sick of The Last of Us. I've been sick of The Last of Us since 2020. Like I'm done, bro. But they keep milking it. They keep milking it.
It's interesting because I don't like as soon as I've played that first one, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to. So I pay zero attention to anything Last of Us related.
Good for you, because it's just nonstop.
The show or the game or the second game, I'm like, I already made my decision. I'm not going back, so I'm not even looking. But that said, as far as like overrated games,
Or IPs. Yeah.
I would say GTA.
Uh-oh. That's controversial.
But I've always said GTA. I've always said GTA because I think it's overrated. I mean, like it's just okay, open world game.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm coming from a different headspace than than a lot of than most of the gaming community. That's why it's a Wait, do we have controversial statement?
No, not yet. We got to get that one from Rich.
That is a phenomenal question.
Yeah, but yeah, you're not really an open world guy, so that makes sense why you would say that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not big into open world games. I feel like I as of late they've been getting a lot less sloppy. But that was the biggest issue that I had, even going back to that original, to the first 3D Grand Theft Auto. I felt that game was just sloppy. You're just everybody, you're falling through walls, you're doing all kinds of stuff, but everybody's like, "But you can do so much stuff in it." I'm like, "So, I'd like a solid game, thank you."
Yeah. I'm just going down the line here. Brett, overrated IPs.
All right, controversial statement. Dad of War.
Uh-oh. There you go.
2 for 2, Brian.
Yeah, that's another one for you, Brian. That's funny. All right. You want to explain, or I think that one kind of explains itself, to be honest.
I mean, like, it's...
I want to know Brett's explanation as to why.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett. Why do you think it's overrated? And I noticed you said Dad of War specifically, not God of War.
Yeah, well, because God of War used to have a very defined identity, right? Like, and it was fine being that, and then it decided to try and reinvent itself to be this like heavy, introspective, mature, blah blah blah. Like, and I get it, and it's not that it's a bad story. It's just that, first of all, like, the mechanics are just the Resident Evil 4 mechanics, and I'm sick of everything under the sun just kind of adopting that same third person over the shoulder, exact same fighting mechanics. I did like the throw axe and retrieve axe. I didn't like how the game pigeonholed you into fighting a certain way. Most of it was just very elaborate or quick or secretly covered quick time sequences, right? Like, oh, I have to dodge this sort of time. I have to use my shield this time, and now I have to use my attack at this time. Like, this is just I'm doing the same thing as a quick time event, right? Like, it's not actual open fighting because there's a right and a wrong answer. It's just, are you pressing the button at the right time? And then the story, like, I don't know if I really need the story or if I want it. Like, it's a good story. It's a good story by itself, but like, I liked Kratos. I don't know if I want to hand off the old Kratos. I want to see the old Kratos, and for the brief little bit that you do see him, and then he fucking apologizes for being the Kratos that we know and love. Like, I spent the entire goddamn time of like 2 games just watching this motherfucker brood about the shit that I made him do while playing previous games. And it feels like melodramatic Oscar bait.
Yeah.
There was good stuff in there, but I feel like they filled it with so much unnecessary fake depth that it just kind of they put a bunch of Last of Us into my God of War, and I don't appreciate it.
That's funny. All right, that's a good one. I'll get some people angry, and I like that. Chris, go ahead.
We got two things that probably will anger people in there.
Yep.
Okay, well, I mean, like, for fairness, like, I do, don't get me wrong, I do love giving you guys, like, I do love riling everybody up. Like, it's fun. It's all in good fun. But I do have to say, in fairness, the game does have some striking moments. It's visually beautiful. It tells a great narrative. Like, it does a thing well, but it's not the thing that it used to do. And I'm still one of those guys where I'm like, okay, but what if I just want to, like, murder everything and kill gods? Like, it's like you turn my Frosted Flakes into Bran Flakes. I'm like, that's cool. But can I still have Frosted Flakes, or is this just what it is now? And they're like, no, this is what it is because you're 40. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck, man. I want some Frosted Flakes every now and again.
Okay.
So, like, I don't mind some of the junk food video games, And I think that we've lost sight of that a little bit because everybody wants to tell this money, and a lot of them don't tell even great stories. Like if you're going to tell a story, tell a great story. Like Spider-Man 2, if fuck it, I'm already in, halfway in. Let's do this shit. Spider-Man 2, if you were going to try and tell us a great story, then fucking tell a great story. I still don't know anybody who knows what Spider-Man 2 is actually like about. It doesn't seem to have a singular theme or narrative. In fact, Spider-Man 1 didn't either, but it was just so nice to actually feel like it was a genuine adaptation to Spider-Man, and I think we all kind of let that one go. But when you bring in Miles Morales to the multiverse and everything like that, like I don't know, man. I want a little bit more cohesive story. I haven't finished the game, so can't really say much more on it, but it just feels like a game that exists for the sake of its own existence, not because it needs to exist, not because it needs to be a story or needs to be told, or art that needs to be shared with the world. It's there as just this empty thing that is palatable enough to make big corporations money while they just slowly lower the bar on you. Again, out of pocket.
Yeah.
Take it easy on me, guys.
To be fair, the Spider-Man 2 didn't have anything to do with the multiverse. There was some like weird portal traveling across the world, but there was no multiverse stuff in there.
There is one multiverse thing that's connected to the Spider-Verse, and that's it.
Yeah, that little, I know what you're talking about, but Miles Morales himself, he is part of that world. He's not like from another universe. I just showed up in the game,
Yeah, you're doing, and I like the multiverse, and and that's kind of like I don't mind if it's a multiverse thing. It's just it seems like a lot of these like Spider-Man 1 felt a lot like you like Spider-Man, so here's kind of some different story. Maybe I just have a terrible story memory too, and like the big story didn't really connect with me, but like it just didn't land. Yep, I was gonna say something else, but I lost it.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Chris, Chris, what do you got? Mr. Seeley. Uh-oh. He may not be around. Oh, well. Next. Yeah, okay, go ahead, Carlos.
I've said this since the day it released. Destiny.
Oh, there you go.
It's always been one of those games where like I knew right away. I'm like I know the rope-a-dope. I know and I'm not falling for it. And I felt like the whole world did, and I was the crazy one.
No, you and Manny were the lone ones.
No, man, I knew that thing from that demo. That's why I didn't touch that thing.
Yeah, man. It just and here's the thing. This is coming from a hardcore Halo fan at that time. I'm like, oh, this is the first game Bungie does after Halo, and the last game was Halo Reach. So I'm like, damn, I'm like peak, Bungie hype at that point. So when that came out, I gave it a chance.
Getting down on some marathon.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that. I was super hyped because Bungie's making a new game and everything. It's $500 million. It cost $500 million to make, and all that hype, and everyone got into it. And then when I played it, I'm like, oh, what is this?
Hello.
Hey, there he is. He's back. Yeah, Nintendo took you out, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? What did
Hey, Chris, does this feel like chloroform to you?
I know there was a dart in my neck though. It's like, where'd this come from?
But yeah, Chris, you could go after Carlos. Go ahead, Carlos. You finish it. Talk about Destiny.
Yeah, so I didn't like almost everything about the game except the gameplay. That was the only saving grace for that game. And everyone and their mama that was playing it loved it and kept playing it, and that's all they were doing. And I'm like, man, I guess I'm the only one, and that's how I felt. And I felt like everyone came to their senses eventually, but yeah, that's always going to be my answer. I always felt that franchise was overrated.
It is overrated, but yeah, that gameplay was so sweet. That's why Brett and I were hooked on that shit for a while. Like, and there was also nothing out really, so it kind of came out at a perfect time. But yeah, the gameplay superb, but yeah, it's very hollow. Like even gave the second one a shot too. Again, great gameplay, but it was just a very hollow experience in the end. So I agree with you.
The guns felt so good.
They did.
Like the way like there was a lot of stuff about that was great, but yeah, I think hollow is a really really good word for it, because that's kind of how I felt about Diablo 4 when it came out as well. Like, high polish, but like it's just kind of rotten and hollow inside. Like there just wasn't a lot there, meat and story wise, or mechanics wise, or anything.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, Chris, what about you? Overrated franchise?
Oh, okay. I guess you didn't hear what I said.
No.
So I said, it's Zelda. It's Breath of the Wild.
Excuse me. I agree with that.
Not. I mean, go down the line with like graphically, not astounding. Shallow world, shallow gameplay, weapon fragility, kind of tropey story, confusing continuity where it's like, okay, you have, even if they did, and Brett would understand this, even if you did a Dragon Break and slammed all the timelines together and said everything is true and everything happened, some stuff in Tears of the Kingdom doesn't make any sense. The time travel stuff and the where this fits in with anything, I don't know. It feels like Nintendo could just drop any type of lore in the game, and it's just completely batshit insane, and they just expect you to be like, they don't even care. I think they laugh if you try to figure it out. Like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. We spun a wheel, and we were smoking weed when we spun
Oh, but there's multiple timelines.
Yeah, so it is all that. But in terms of like, all the argumentation when it was rated, I remember like, some people were getting doxed at site slammed if they gave the game even like a B plus or like an 80. Like it's just ridiculous. It's like, this is not a masterpiece game. It's good, right? You can play it and it's fine. There was things that pissed me off, the weapon fragility most of all. So it's not like an exceptional game. The world is very shallow, and then in the second game, making the world have 3 levels with the same shallow gameplay, like Hyrule doesn't have any like depth to it. You can't really explore anything. Making an underworld and an overworld, it wasn't much better. It was just more shit to explore that was just a surface, right? So I just think it's very overrated.
Yeah. Well, do you feel that way about the franchise though?
No, there were games in there that had there are titles in Zelda that had a lot more stuff. I'm just talking about the Switch Zelda.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about Ocarina of Time or the classic shit. Those were pretty good for what they were. Like, Link to the Past, I think, has more depth in it than these games, right? And I'm sure somebody's like ripping their. I don't care.
Sorry
It's
to
true.
make it, but
Ocarina
yeah,
better.
yeah. But no, I agree. Breath of the Wild, absolutely overrated. All right, and the last question of the night, people. From Mr. Toon Medic, Michael Santiago. What is your favorite gaming related TV commercial?
Is this because they had Paul Rudd show back up in that Nintendo commercial?
Maybe, but I saw that. Yeah.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I feel like and by the way, I'm gonna say something, and I know maybe one of you guys is gonna answer one of these, and I'm just gonna say that I hate it for a specific reason. I'll let you guys know if you guys mention it. But my answer is Gears of War, the original one. All around me are familiar faces, because it's the most memorable commercial that I can think of. The Halo 3 one is pretty close too. The one where there's like the old man and the kid, and he's talking about the sky, and he's like, "You think we'll ever meet them?" And then Master Chief shows up like crazy and throws a bubble, and I'm like, "Damn." Yeah, Gears of War, man. That it just I feel like it wasn't even just me. It got everyone's attention, and everyone was just
attention.
Oh yeah,
The Gears.
There's another Gears, you know.
All right. All right. Go down the line here. Chris, what about you?
Oh wait, which one are we on?
Favorite gaming commercial.
Okay, I'm an old man. My favorite commercials happened in like the 80s and the 90s, right? I loved the Super Metroid commercial.
Oh yeah, that was
That
epic.
was
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It was almost like Aliens, right? Like
Yeah.
how they shot it and everything and how gritty it was. I love the Nintendo Power ad back in the day. I love that, like old video game commercials. Like some of them were on crack. Like if you watch the original Zelda commercial, I'm not talking about the Zelda rap. I'm talking about the other guy.
The one where he's screaming Zelda.
Yeah, doing that
Zelda!
interpretive theater shit. It's like, what is this? Like it was just completely.
With
But
the black turtleneck.
like they just with the black turtleneck and he's like tap dancing around, and it just we had the wildest ads back then for old games, and they had a lot of imagination put into them because graphically now what we have is superior, right? You could just let the game talk for itself, but back then they put in a lot of effort into that shit, and it was great. So those type of commercials like were fantastic, especially like it's when it got like PS1 and like N64 ads. N64 ads were insane. You know, so those were my favorite. I can't even pick one. I loved the old like Nintendo Power ad. Loved the old Super Metroid ad. Those I think were my favorites that stand out in my mind. But those ads in the 80s and 90s were wow, they were fantastic.
Nice. All right, Brian, what's up? What you got?
I have one. Well, I have two actually. Sorry. First one is I'm sure it's Ninja Gaiden Black with the PS3 dual sense, dual shock.
Yeah.
If you remember it, you remember it. Else, I'm not going to talk about it. But all I'm going
Brian?
to say is,
I don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
Brian, real quick, you mentioned two brands of controllers. Was it actually the other brand? Was it a 6-axis? If it's PS3.
I don't remember which one it was, but it was the one where they were lifting the controller up and down and they were nodding. It's basically an advert that can never be made in today's climate.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's one of those. It's one of those British commercials.
Oh no, it's a Japanese one.
Is the Japanese one? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Think about it. Ninja Gaiden, what's its two famous things for? Well, two things that are famous for. Well,
Yeah, two things, Brian.
yes. And then how with the motion controls you could lift things up and down, and yes, that and anything with Kevin Butler in it.
Yes.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding.
Yep, that's the right answer.
Well, no. That's not that's the right answer for my answer when I said that something's gonna piss me off when someone mentions it eventually.
Uh-oh.
That's
Oh,
it.
really?
Why, Carlos?
That's my controversial. That's my biggest. You guys talk about controversial stuff this whole episode, and yes, your guys' stuff is controversial. In particular, Brett, you got some controversial takes. Here's mine. I fucking hate Kevin Butler.
What? No, kick this man off the show. No.
Yeah, fuck off. I'm going against
Blasphemy.
everyone.
This
This
is
is
crazy.
1v20, man.
Let's cook.
I hate what he did to the PlayStation community.
Excuse me?
It made everyone think like he was actually part of the company. And in particular, I hated when he showed up on E3 because everyone was fucking simping for this dude. Where I'm like, this press conference sucked. And everyone is talking about is, oh, Kevin Butler's hilarious. He should be CEO of Sony. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. That's some fucking simp shit. Let's get the fuck like this is a bad press conference, and it pissed me the hell off, and I'm still pissed. It's been 15 years since. I'm still pissed.
That's definitely a hot take. Kevin Butler was God. You know?
Really?
Exactly. That's the exact same reason. I had enough of this dude. I'm glad he's gone.
I was about to say, you glad he's dead?
Hey, man.
Damn.
I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad he's gone from the Sony. I'm glad he's gone from the Sony cinematic universe.
Yeah, G's DDR. Yes, we remember the Bridgestone tires. That was my first claim to fame when Kotaku stole my fucking article. You know.
Oh,
Oh man, but you've heard that story before.
Let's see if you played through some shade at that fool.
4 months into the gaming industry, and Kotaku started stealing my shit. Ain't that something? I'm like, I made it. All right, Brett, favorite gaming commercial or commercials?
I want to say the Secret of Evermore animated commercial from like the Super Nintendo.
Oh wow,
Still sticks with me to this day. That thing was just straight fire.
nice. Yeah, I remember that. That was good. All right, Manny, what about you?
I'm gonna do it.
All right. Motherfucker! I knew you were gonna take that answer. yeah. Mortal Kombat! That was hype.
Kombat! Just those kids running around empty Chicago and screaming Mortal Kombat in the city.
Yeah, because you guys gotta understand the context. Back then, games did not have release dates. They just came out.
Yep.
So this one had a release. They were like, oh, and not only that, this was fucking Mortal Kombat. Everybody was waiting for that shit. We were waiting like however long it was. We were waiting forever, like Mortal Kombat. And then when they released Mortal Monday, we were hyped. That commercial was crazy. Yep. I knew somebody was going to say, but I have other answers. I think everybody went. So yeah, that one, obviously that's my top one. I loved all the Ratchet and Clank commercials for the PS2 era. Remember, they were using the chicken gun or whatever, on shit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Crash Bandicoot commercials were funny. It's a dude in a fucking costume with a bullhorn yelling shit,
When he
was
drove
in
up
front
to
of
the
Nintendo.
Nintendo headquarters and started yelling at them.
And Chris, obviously, Genesis does. Genesis does.
Oh, those fantastic.
Classic.
Yeah.
But my absolute favorite, besides the Mortal Kombat one, the PlayStation 9 commercial. Remember that? It's like a fucking orb.
Yeah.
It was really a PS2 commercial, but it started here. Oh man, that was great. I also like remember those crazy Sega Saturn commercials with that black guy screaming?
No, wasn't it the silver dude?
There was that too, but there was I'm thinking about the black guy was for the 32X.
Yeah, remember he's like, you ain't seen the games yet?
Yeah, get it. Like, dude, you're being aggressive here. Oh man, some good stuff. Again,
Pegasus or Reindeer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't remember any commercials like after. Yeah, unlike Chris, I'm an old man. Like after the '90s, I don't remember commercials for video games. But yeah, like some of those the '90s just had so many of them. And I remember the magazine ads were great too. Like they had a Sega Saturn one. It was like this fucking hot chick, and like they were covering all her bits with like game screens. So like hey, like. You may not have noticed that there's actually video games here or something like that. It's this hot girl,
They were
actually no. It was like, hey, you may not have noticed there's a hot girl here because of these awesome games.
It was very tood sort of attitude-y type of advertising. You know?
That's right. Well, Sega Dreamcast, it's thinking. I remember all those commercials.
It's thinking.
It's thinking. It's hilarious, man. And that's going to do it for us. That's all the questions tonight. Good stuff. What do we
got a question.
Oh, what's up? Why is it?
Brett, are you still here?
Why is it that Brett can't remember?
Why is it? Quick question. I've been looking into the X-Real glasses. I'm just curious because here's the thing. I took a 10+ hour flight recently, and man, using my tablet or phone on a plane sucks, man, because you need to be looking down and for more than like 2 hours, it just hurts your neck and stuff. So I was thinking like, man, for my next trip, I really want to have like those types of glasses where you just looking straight and everything's covered down and no one can see what you're seeing and stuff like that. Felt like that was pretty cool. So my question to you is, how do you feel your glasses would work on a flight? You think they'll be pretty good?
Oh, excellent, amazing. I mean, that's one of my favorite things. Is like the amount of positions that I'm in is kind of limited, and I got I was lucky to inherit one of those position changing beds that has like a zero gravity function. So I can just lay my ass back and be pretty comfortable. So the great thing is, like, yeah, wherever you're looking, however you're looking, you can just kind of sit however is comfortable or natural for you without having to stare or look at something, which is just the fucking best.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it. And like I really looked into the difference because I had gotten the twos, right? And then
Yeah.
they debuted like the threes literally 2 days after I got the two. I was like, God damn it. So I went through the return process because I did my research, and one of the things that they did was different between the two and the three is they changed the eye box to fit a more Western audience. So the eye box is actually bigger, meaning that the glasses don't have to be positioned exactly correctly. Like you have more wiggle room for them to, look right. And a lot of these glasses have problems with not being able to see the edges very well. This one, you can see the edges 90% well, which is honestly pretty good for me. I can see them 100% of it well, like most of the time. Like actually, here, let me slap them on right now because I'm playing some games.
Nice.
And I actually got myself like a magnetic snap away USB-C and a Thunderbolt cable to go with them. So like I got a whole little thing where if I flip up or step the wrong way or fall out of bed or something like that, I'm not going to fuck up my ports. But like, yeah, I'm putting it in right now, and like I can see all four corners. I can read all of my text. It's really nice. It's 1080, so it's not going to be as high resolution as like some of your more high quality monitors. But it's a 1080p screen at 120 hertz. So for the most part, like unless you're trying to game in 4K, it's got what you need.
Nice. Yeah, man. I'm definitely considering getting those. There's some that I'm seeing for $4.99. They're called X-Real 1, which looks like a
Yeah, okay, so I can actually go like if you want
By
me
the
to
way,
go
should
into
we
the
take this
difference
off air because this isn't even about gaming anymore, really?
I mean, they're about
But
gaming accessories.
Or is it?
yeah, you can play video games. Like
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to do is connect my Steam Deck to it and play Steam Deck games on the plane without having to look down to a screen. Like you can just be playing like standing still with your head up without cranking it
Okay,
positions.
it's game. I guess that's gaming related enough. Continue because we kind of do still need to fill up some time. So continue. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, so one of the big things you're gonna find is that those extra glasses they're more expensive, and the big difference is going to be that you can like anchor the screen, right? So like without needing some sort of external device. So like if you put them on and you look somewhere and you like press a button and then you look away, like the screen is going to stay in your field of vision wherever you press the button at. So that's kind of nice. But like honestly, for me, I'm not working. I'm on a budget right now, so like like I said, I got mine at $219, and I'm sure they'll come back down or go on sale pretty regularly. But for me, it was wasn't really concerned about it like locking in place or anything like that. And believe it or not, the Rainio 3s seem to have the best display. They have Sony Mini OLED displays. I want to say they come at 600 nits brightness. And they're one of the better ones that I've seen. I did a lot of research for comparisons, and so X-Real's it's not going to give you as bright or crisp of a picture, but it's going to let you anchor your screen to wherever you want. And I think you can use that to then even have multiple monitors or a virtual widescreen monitor anywhere you want. So if either of those are important to you, then the X-Trail might actually be a really good choice. Although I will caution, one of the things that I have seen to find out is when I say it supports multiple monitors at the same time, like, yeah, you can't have a 3 multiple monitor setup, but it looks like none of the monitors actually like work unless you tilt your head and look at them. So it's not like you can have a video playing in one monitor on the left while you're gaming in your center monitor, virtually. But I didn't want to deal with any of the multi-monitor shit. Like I just wanted a big, clear, crisp, clean monitor with the best display for a good value, and so that's the one I want. The one I went with. And I can't highly recommend it. I don't have personal experience with X-Rail Air. I would love to start working with some more of these guys if they want to start sending me some prototypes. I would be happy to go over and cover some of this shit. So anybody who's listening, so I can spread that word.
So, question: when you're playing a game and it says like it can look like a movie theater, like does it really feel like that?
Yes, I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing in Shroud right now, and it feels like I'm kind of like middle of the movie theater. Like honestly, much more screen size, and I would probably be straining my eyes to look in the corners.
Interesting. Yeah, man, I'm interested in getting them. The only thing that concerns me is I would need to get a prescription for that because I don't think you can put glasses, and I don't want to be wearing contacts with those.
Okay, so the $5.99, the X-Real one actually has some adjustment in it. I want to say up to plus -5, depending on what your prescription is. So if you have a serious prescription, it may not work for you. These ones actually come with this little set of spectacles, right? You take those into your glasses place, and they put your prescription in, and it slides in between the lenses and the mirror. And so then when it projects, is in your lens prescription.
Nice.
So you don't have to wear a second set of glasses underneath.
Man, I really want to try those with my on my Steam Deck.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
like, I got one that I can charge and use with my Steam Deck, and so yeah, I'm just like with my Steam Deck, so I can just like sit in the living room, put these things on. It was a trip. It was cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Carlos, my manager, he travels a lot, internationally, and he swears by using AR glasses with his Steam Deck. Actually, ROG Ally. So yeah,
Oh,
he does that. He's written many articles. I think he's actually reviewing the one Brett just mentioned, the third one. So stay tuned. But yeah, he's written a bunch of articles about that. He's like, every time he goes on a trip, he's like, hey, I tried these AR glasses, and this is what happened.
Oh,
So there you go. All right, man. Good stuff. Yeah. Do we have anything to plug?
I
Huh? Go ahead, Brett.
Go, Brett.
not to be a beggar, I got my GoFundMe. Tony linked to that. He's very nice. I'm out of work, so if y'all got anything to spare, I guess I don't know. I hate this shit. My pride's too big, but like, could be tough. I have to have a second back surgery. Y'all know how it is. I don't know if I told y'all. I had to have a second back surgery.
You did mention it when you popped in the last time.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I post. So yeah, Brett, I let the the Throwdown Discord know, and then I post it on Twitter. So I'll be pimping it out, helping you out as much as possible.
I really appreciate you guys, and like even if you can't, like just I appreciate y'all either being there, even those of you that just want to be there and talk shit for me, like I love y'all, even those that it's kind of a contentious love. You know what I mean? So like, just y'all support and everything. It means the world to me because this shit has to be the single worst experience I've ever done in my life, and the pain is tremendous. And that's the only time you're ever gonna hear me bitch about it.
Yeah, no, it's fucking brutal shit, man. All right, but yeah, if you can, please help out Brett, and not only if you can help out, but also spread the word. Either or both, preferably. But if you can't, if you're money strapped, then at least just let people know.
Yeah, dude, groceries be expensive. I totally feel you. No worries.
Good stuff. Manny, you got anything?
Oh well, as always, we like I said, we're in the home stretch of not the home stretch. We're like halfway through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles covers. So this month, when April was the Leonardo cover, next month will be Michelangelo, and then following month will be Raphael. So those are still coming, and then I also have some other things that me and Kari had done that are still in the ether. So we'll find out more about what's going with those. I think the Power Company is coming pretty soon too, which is from DC Comics, something that we recently finished. So got a couple of things, and then also I got my things going along. I'm trying to see how many more shows I can do this year. Hopefully, get it to New York Comic Con. Hopefully, see if we can get it to Evo. See what's going on there. So you know. And also, by the way, thank you to those of you who showed up at my table and said, "What's up?"
Nice. Carlos, what's going on with the coalition? I guess nothing.
Well, nothing that I can speak
Yeah.
of.
You don't got any Walking Dead shows or nothing?
No, we're still waiting for next month for I am Negan to come back because we're waiting on the Daryl Dixon show to come. Oh, not the Daryl Dixon show, Dead City, the Negan and Maggie show to come back. Once that comes back, let me look up the exact date. Once that comes back, then we'll be doing our weekly coverages of each episode. That's I Am Negan. And when does it come back? Damn, June? Is that right?
That is a phenomenal question.
Yeah. Oh, May 4th. There we go. May 4th. May the 4th be with you and with Negan. So that's that's 2 weeks from now. You'll be getting I Am Negan coming back. And it's gonna be an interesting show, man. Negan and Maggie, that's a weird dynamic. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the last season, and curious to see where it goes.
Good stuff. The timeline's going crazy right now. So again, the normies are acting exactly like I predicted. Exactly like I predicted. It's funny, man. Should have played the video game. You would have been prepared. All right, let's wrap it up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord and check us out on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
It has been real, party people.
And Brian Manjoma.
Really? 120 gigabytes.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Oh, man. All right, guys, go get outraged. Later.
Laters.
Latest.